In today's video, I'm going to reveal with you what you don't know about self-care habits that will build insane trust with yourself. Stay tuned because this could change your life. Hi everyone, my name is Leanne. I am a certified yoga instructor and wellness coach based in New York City. I've helped countless people find life purpose and increase their productivity with sustainable habits. I've helped countless individuals transform their lives, and today I'm here to help you build self-trust through self-care. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe and like my channel for more tips on wellness and personal growth. The first step of building self-trust with yourself is first becoming aware of how serious it is when you actually break trust with yourself. It is essential that we start to keep the promises we make to ourselves. We are often so quick to be concerned about everyone else and making sure we show up for them, follow through on our promises. But then when it comes to the promises we make for ourselves, that always seems to get pushed on the back burner and pushed off constantly. And it's very common to see less commitment around that. And part of the reason is that it's because it's pretty easy to hide it from others, to hide it from society, and it's a very internal process. But one of the things to be aware about is that when we constantly break promises to ourselves, it starts to get wired in our subconscious that we can't trust ourselves, because we consistently are breaking the promises we make. So why would we trust ourselves to do something when in the past we constantly keep breaking it? And this is like one of the things that can get into a really toxic, where we repeatedly keep doing the same thing, and then it starts to become one of our beliefs about ourselves, which in turn is actually a limiting belief, because we're trying to validate the same story over and over again. And so one of the biggest things to be aware about, coming full circle, is that when we break these promises to ourselves, it gets recorded in our subconscious, which then indirectly impacts the relationship we have to ourselves and the self-trust we have, which leads into step number 2, which is to heal yourself from hustle culture. So part of hustle culture, there's this temptation to take on more than what we can handle, which in return, in a sense, kind of is up for failure in the way that we build self-trust with ourselves, which is touched on in step number 1. So if it's really not realistic for us to complete the promises we make for ourselves, we are setting ourselves up for failure. And so one of the essential things that we can do is to start to become more realistic on what we can actually take on, and getting more clarity on, is this to-do list realistic? Is this promise I'm making to myself something I can really follow through with? And it's about really taking these promises serious that we commit to ourselves, which then also leads to step number 3, which is to build awareness around your ego. Hustle culture loves to challenge the ego, making you believe you can be it all, do it all, whatever it is. The ego will feed into the hustle culture, and you'll start saying yes to everything and saying, oh, I can do that, I can handle all of this work. And then before you know it, you are constantly not finishing your to-dos. You're burning yourself out to follow through on the commitments you make. And then in return, any type of commitment that isn't being followed through is either related to harder tasks, or it's related to the commitments you've made to yourself that are just easier to break and get out of. And really that also stems into the cycle. And so one of the important things to recognize is that you don't have to do it all, you don't have to be it all, and your health is really what matters at the end of the day, and building something that's sustainable. If you found any of the steps or tips that I shared valuable, please make sure to like this video and then drop a comment below on which one really started to resonate well with you. To recap, some of the main points of building or rebuilding self-trust with yourself involves keeping the promises you commit to yourself, healing yourself from hustle culture so that you can develop realistic promises and commitments you make to yourself. And then also becoming aware of your ego and when your ego is trying to step in and take on more than what it can actually handle. And starting to follow these steps, although it doesn't happen overnight, with time, you'll slowly start to become aware of when you're taking on too much, when the ego's coming in, when you're tempted to break a promise to yourself, when that temptation creeps in. You'll start to become more aware of this now. And with this awareness, you have the power to make changes. You have the power to have self-trust with yourself. Thank you again for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and stick around on my channel if there's more wellness tips that you want to watch, or I also have some free yoga classes if that interests you as well. Thank you, and see you next time.